Just want to get a quick update. Aunt Chippy, how is she?
She passed away 2 weeks ago, but no, she's fine. No, I'm kidding. Are we recording that? That was a good reaction you gave there.
Brad Blanks, and I've got Cousin Sal here. How are you, mate?
What's happening, Brad? How you been?
Yeah, good. I tell you what, I just finished the documentary. I'm a bit emotional.
You're gonna be all right. If you need a minute, I'll give it to you. You know, I could fill. I'm pretty good at that. But if you need to compose yourself, no, it's pretty great, huh?
It's really unbelievable. And like first I got to say, Cousin Sal documentary filmmaker. That has a nice ring to it, right?
I guess so. I don't know. This might be a one and done. This might be a Dexy's Midnight Runners kind of thing. But yeah, listen, I was a Mets fan since I was a very little boy. I grew up in Long Island, born in Brooklyn, grew up in Long Island. And then when we were approached by Nick Davis, and he asked me and he asked my cousin Jimmy Kimmel if we would help and executive produce this. And I knew the story, obviously, having grown up with it, but many times it's difficult to portray that at all in 3-4 hours. We got 4 hours, and I think Nick did an excellent job doing so.
Yeah, it's got comedy, it's got drama, it's emotional. When this is unfolding and you're watching the process, are you going, geez, we might have something here?
I mean, it was just a different team, a different time, and I don't know that this could go on the way it did. Like, I think about it, I'm like, wow, they won 108 games. How did they not win every game? And then I look at it, I'm like, how did this collection of lunatics make it to the ballpark every day? It has everything. It really does. Like, I was worried it'd be too highlight heavy, because a team that wins 108 games, you could just show, hours and hours of highlights and it would be good enough for the average baseball fan. But there's a lot for the non-Mets fan, the non-baseball fan. There's, they were heavy into drugs. They were heavy into fighting. They were heavy into carousing after hours and during the game. Like it's craziness that goes on, and you have to check it out for yourself.
Yeah, and that's what you sort of nailed New York City in 1984, 85, and of course 86. So that was the time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. You really get the flavor of New York, and I think Nick especially did a great job of putting that in there. The local broadcasters, Warner Wolf, and everything that was going on. They added a lot of interviews, and the music is terrific. We got Beastie Boys, we got everything from that era, and like I said, the off the field stuff is I think more compelling than the on-field accolades they receive.
Now, you mentioned Lenny Dykstra. He's actually super intelligent in this. Some of his lines are very poignant.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's a thinker. He really let it out. I mean, like in his playing days, he let it all go on the didn't leave anything on the field, right? So pulled no punches with these interviews and told you what he thought of some players. And, Gary Carter was beloved, but, at the time, a lot of players had trouble getting along with him. He had a great relationship with God, and some of the other guys maybe didn't. There's a lot of talk about the team playing and who sits where. And it was the front office and the managers and the coaches in the first class. And then Gary Carter's like right behind them reading his Bible, and then just lunacy going on behind them with gambling and drugs and everything else in those back 10 rows. And there's talk about, this gets into the later episodes, about how the plane may have landed with a broken door. Like the door was broken off and there was $70,000 to $100,000 worth of damage. And what a collection of loons this was.
Do you reckon that's one of the most famous plane flights in world sport?
Yeah, I think so. There are some WWF flights, I think, that maybe are counter to it. But I don't know of any that rival this otherwise.
Yeah, but you, of course, Keith Hernandez, but when you see the dailies, I guess you call it in the film world, were you impressed that he still, that he brought his cats into his interviews?
I think his cat is going to be a meme. I think that's going to be one of the big takeaways from this documentary. I mean, he's talking about his father and a very complex relationship while stroking his cat. Like the psychologist would have a field day, I think, with that. And so Keith is very fond of his cat anyway. I think it has its own Twitter account. He really is the table center in this documentary and for the team. It was like having an extra manager, like having an extra pitching coach. He was in there and he was there for everyone. And there's he gave a lot. I mean, you could tell by the outfit changes. They stayed with him for days. Nick Davis did, and got a ton out of Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, how do you go telling yourself as you would have been, what, a 12-year-old boy when the Mets won?
15. Yeah, I was 15.
15.
Yeah.
How do you, what would you say that you've now made help play a role in bringing this into a film?
It's really stupid. It really is. Like to think like 35 years later, I'm at the premiere with Kevin Mitchell and I'm taking pictures with him as we're eating sliders, and I was like, wow, that he was instrumental in this Met season and a fierce competitor. I mean, they had 4 fights that year and they won all of them on the field with the other teams. I mean, you just don't see that anymore. And I wonder if they'd be able to survive in the world of social media as we know it now.
Final words. The Mets, will they win again one day, the World Series?
I think one day I think they will. I don't know that I'll be around for it, but I've saddled this team, this burden on my children. I said, you have to root for that. I know we live in LA and it doesn't make sense, but we get all the games on TV. I pay for that and you're going to watch them and you're not going to root for the Dodgers. So I hope they do it. I don't know that this is the year. A nice little weekend. We won the series against the Yankees. Lindor finally earning his money, which I don't even think we've started paying him yet. But yeah, I think it's maybe it'll happen in the next 3 years.
All right.
Please, God. Yeah.